Okay, people, this is a very exciting day. Not only am I going to be sharing about my favorite ways to boost mineral levels and a bit of a science into mineral balancing, today is also the day that my course, Imbalance, is open for enrollment once again. So this is technically going to be the third time of enrollment. The first time was in 2022. I launched it as a group program, and then I just realized it's going to work so much better as a self-paced, do-it-yourself course. So then I launched it in early 2023 and now again in July. So yeah, I'll be sharing today a few general ways to support your mineral levels and then a few more specifics. But why don't we start off with the symptoms of mineral imbalance? And this is a very kind of difficult question to ask, but I could also just answer it in one way that just says literally anything could be a symptom of a mineral imbalance. But some of the most common things that I see relate to gut health problems, and that's because minerals like zinc are important for stomach acid production, as is sodium, and zinc's really important for the lining of your gut integrity. And when that's not there, that's leaky gut. You probably heard that term before, so that's one example. They're important for hormone production, so the creation of things like progesterone, which so many women are lacking in these days. It's important for things like potassium to allow you to use your hormones properly. So you could be making enough, but still not being able to use it because it's just not there and available because of a lack of potassium, so common. Or it could be that you don't have minerals needed to detox your hormones, something like estrogen. So you end up with estrogen dominance. And your liver is involved in so many different functions, and minerals are a huge way that it works. So you could do all of the liver detoxing things in the world, but if you don't have the minerals, then you just don't have the basic nutrients that it needs to function. You just don't have the basic building blocks for your liver to do what it needs to do. In terms of skin health, you might be struggling with acne or eczema or psoriasis. You need minerals like sulfur, you need minerals like calcium and zinc and selenium to have a really good clear skin. For your mood, you might be struggling with anxiety, depression, ADHD, OCD, any of those conditions. You need minerals to make neurotransmitters. Things like magnesium, for example, is involved in GABA production, which is GABA aminobutyric acid, I'm pretty sure, and it's the calm, relaxation, chilled neurotransmitter. That's the opposite to glutamate, which is the excitatory, and we need both of them, but a lot of people are stuck in that glutamate excess with not enough GABA, and that can be driven by mineral imbalances. So before we go into a little bit more about minerals, let me just tell you about the course. So you now know a little bit more about why minerals are important and could be associated with any of the different symptoms that you're having, and you need to start here when it comes to healing. So many people make mistakes. They go through all of these different protocols. No one's ever mentioned minerals to them before. They either get better temporarily or they just don't see any improvements at all. And it's because minerals are such a foundational aspect that either gets ignored or overlooked, and people just don't really know about it. I've worked with people who have been seen by the top doctors in the US for a condition like chronic fatigue. They've done fancy mitochondrial tests, urine tests, hormone tests, saliva tests, and no one's ever done a hair tissue mineral analysis, which is how we look at minerals most accurately. We do one when they come to me for help, and we just find out that they have really messed up minerals, and that's been probably the main driver this whole time. And all of these other things that they're doing, they're trying to heal the gut, they're trying to detox the liver. As I said before, if you don't have the minerals, then you can't really do those things successfully. So my course, Imbalance, is a test and treat course that allows you to get access to the HTMA test, which is my favorite lab test. So you get one free test included in the price, and you get to learn how to read the report. So you get your lab results back after a few weeks once you've completed the test, and you can then follow the video modules in Kajabi, this online software that I use, and it tells you if you've got this low or this high, this is what you need to do, this is what it could be causing, this is how we balance things naturally. We go deeper into some of the causes of mineral imbalances, just so we're not doing a quick fix thing of, oh, this is low, let's just take that. I'm actually trying to help you figure out why this happened in the first place so that you can hopefully prevent more imbalances developing, and so that you can actually get to the root of the problem. And this information is something that you get lifetime access to, and you can benefit ongoing. So once you sign up once, you've then got this course to refer back to once or twice a year, which I would recommend until your minerals are pretty balanced and until you're feeling significantly well for a period of time. Check in once or twice a year to see your progress, to see exactly which supplements you need, which ones you can discontinue, what you need to be working on. And it's a reflection of how stressed and how nourished and how well your body's been functioning for around 3 months prior to when you take the hair sample, which is so much better than something like a blood test, which just tells you in that moment what's going on. But so many things can be missed. And minerals, apart from iron, are best tested through the hair, in my opinion, because minerals don't just float around in the bloodstream, they're found in the cells. So when we test our blood, apart from iron, like nothing's really going to be shown there. So if you've had a blood calcium level that's not really accurate, you want to test your hair for that. And yes, we do use blood for something like iron and ferritin, which is your iron storage. But even with that example, we need to look at minerals holistically. We can't just think, oh, this is low, let me just take that. This is high, let me just take that. We want to look at them all together because they are synergistic and that's how they work. So for this test and treat course, I'm Balanced, all you're going to pay is £347, which includes a lab test. So really is a no-brainer. If you've been wanting to test your bodies, but you're not working with a practitioner, or even if you're a past client of mine, we've done this test before and you want to have a way to test and treat your body on your own in the background. I'm obviously here if you need me for additional sessions if we worked together before, but just to support yourself and start to learn a little bit more about your body. A lot of my previous one-to-one clients have signed up and they're still benefiting, and they're then helping their family because all you need to do is buy additional lab tests. At the moment, the additional tests are £99, so just over $100 if you're in the US. And yeah, you can buy additional tests. That price might change in the future when the prices go up, but for now, you get all of that information over, at this point, 8 hours of content in that Kajabi portal, and you can take it at your own speed. So if you're busy, if you're wanting to learn but can't commit to working with someone, or you can't afford to work with someone one-to-one, I'm giving you all the information that I would help my one-to-one clients with anyway. But it's just that you have to do a little bit more of the work. You have to watch the videos and understand your report. But based on feedback, everyone's found it really easy to understand and they're really enjoying the content and just learning about this big factor when it comes to health. So if you're listening at a later date, definitely get on the wait list for the next round. I'll be opening it up again, but probably at the end of 2023, early 2024. I've not decided just yet. So if you don't want to wait around, then yeah, get started now. The link is in the episode show notes. So in general, some ways to support your minerals and some of my favorite ways to boost minerals and keep myself balanced naturally is to support my gut health. And this works both ways. So in order to have good gut health, you need good mineral levels. But then in order to have good mineral levels, you need to have good gut health. And this will apply to all of the different connections that I'm going to be talking about, the connection with stress, the connection with hormones. But yeah, for now, we'll talk about the things that you can do to your gut to help your mineral absorption, because that's the main connection here, is that you could be eating the most mineral rich diet in the world, taking all of these supplements, but if you're not absorbing properly, because you have poor gut health, you have infections in your gut, you have a history of low stomach acid, which can feel like high stomach acid and acid reflux and heartburn. That's the thing. Most people, 9 out of 10 times, it's actually low stomach acid that's the problem. That's what causes all of the bloating, the burping, the pains, the undigested food in your stool, the food sensitivities, diarrhea, loose stools, all of that. There's definitely something going on in your gut, but with a lot of other health conditions like acne and psoriasis and rosacea and anxiety, we know now there's a huge connection with gut health. So most people honestly need to work on this aspect, and it's known as mindful eating. So the way that we eat our food is just as, if not more important than what we're eating, in my opinion, because you could also be eating this perfect meal, but if you're stressed out, if you're worried about that meal, if you're isolated, if you've isolated yourself from your family because you're trying to heal your body, but you're really upset that you're missing out on someone's birthday, then that meal isn't actually going to be supportive to your health, even if it's completely clean and organic. So mindful eating is a big deal, and I teach you much more how to do that in the course. But basically slowing down, having gratitude for the food, taking deep breaths, making sure that you're sat upwards and you're not hunched over, you're not rushing out the door, you're giving yourself an actual meal break. Then you can also take things like digestive enzymes, bitters. You can use apple cider vinegar before meals if that works for you. Some people don't tolerate that. And I give you my top supplement recommendations in the course as well. If you want to grab them, you get practitioner discounts a lot of the time. You get access to the top practitioner brands that you can't just buy on Amazon or in the health food shop. They're reserved just for people working under the care of a practitioner. So that's another benefit of the course. So digestion is absolutely huge. Avoiding things like antibiotics where necessary. I've got a whole point coming up in a second on medication because that's just a big deal on its own. But gut health really is everything when it comes to minerals. The next one is stress management. I'm pretty sure it's last week's episode on the podcast that I did an entire episode on stress and trauma because it deserved its own show. And that's because, again, of that two-way connection. So when you're stressed, you deplete minerals. That's the biggest thing that affects our mineral levels. But then also when you're mineral deficient, your body is going to be more stressed. So we can do the best that we can externally. And I share my favorite tools in that episode, but also in the course, if you missed it. And things about trauma, how there's a difference between big T trauma and little t trauma. Most people have trauma to some degree, just as a heads up. And then in the course, when you do your test, you can see how your body has responded to stress. Is it still in this really acute, overactive, high cortisol state? Or have you really reached the point of depletion where your minerals are completely deficient, you're flatlined? It's known as this 4 lows pattern, where all 4 of the core minerals are really low, and there's no wonder that you feel the way that you do. And that's a more difficult, challenging state to recover from. It can be done. I've seen it happen. But those 2 people can feel exactly the same. That's the thing. That's why we need to test and not just guess. That person, those 2 people could have fatigue and anxiety as their symptoms. And they could just assume, both of them, that they've got high or low cortisol because of what they read online. But until they see on paper what is going on with their test and the results and the health, then they know exactly what to do. Because I've seen it over and over again. People have those symptoms and the results are completely different with those 2 cases. Someone could be in that really depleted, burnt out state. The other person could just be really burning through minerals and in this, it's called a loss pattern state where the minerals look really high and you have to do something a little bit different in that situation. So stress management in whatever way you can is absolutely crucial. But if you're the type of person who's been doing all of the typical things, all of the external things like meditation and slowing down and yoga, but you still feel like something's off with your adrenals, something's off with your stress, you're just anxious and you can't figure it out, this is why you need to see what's going on with your minerals, and then you'll be able to address because you know how high or how low something is. Would you love to get your spark back? Well, great news. My online course, Imbalance, is currently open again for enrollment. This gives you the opportunity to test your body and balance your minerals, which are the spark plugs to your body, using my favorite functional lab test, hair tissue mineral analysis, also known as HTMA. I know you might be struggling with your energy, skin, hormones, or gut, but did you know that mineral imbalances could actually be the cause of those things? Meaning that if you don't balance your minerals, your other efforts won't fully work or give you long-lasting results. I love the HTMA as it's super accurate and accessible and allows us to see what's going on in your body. So many of us have imbalances these days due to things like food and air quality, but you need to know exactly which minerals and metals you're exposed to, because 2 people with the same set of symptoms could have completely different imbalances. This is why I created this test and treat option with I'm Balanced. I wanted to get this test out to more people and also give you the tools to be able to interpret the results and make the necessary changes yourself to rebalance things naturally. I only have so many hours in a day to see clients, so this will allow you to get all my top mineral balancing strategies without having to work with me one-to-one. I should also mention that you get one complimentary HTMA test to use as part of the course. I only open this course up for enrollment a few times a year, so if you want to join as soon as possible, doors will close at the end of day, Sunday the 23rd of July. Investment for Imbalance is just £347. This is actually cheaper than my clients would pay for one session with me and a lab test. And this way you can have the information to help you and your family for the rest of your lives. I really don't want you to miss out on this amazing deal. Click the link in the show notes to sign up, or if you're listening to this at a later date, keep your eyes on my website and Instagram for when it's due to open up for enrollment again, which I'm thinking is going to be at the end of 2023 or early 2024. Okay, let's get back to the show. The next thing that we want to do, and something that I do, or try to as much as possible, is to eat more seasonally, locally, and always try to focus on high quality foods. This is because with produce and plants, as soon as we harvest them, as soon as we pluck them out of the ground, they start to deplete minerals. So even if you're eating an organic banana from wherever they're grown, the Caribbean, as soon as it's picked, and with things like bananas, they're picked at the wrong time, they're picked too early, and then they're flown across the world and then sat in the supermarket chiller for about 2 weeks before we get access. So there are still going to be some nutrients in that, and it's definitely better than a Snickers bar, but the minerals are going to be so much lower than if you're from England, like a local seasonal apple. So when they're in season, you pluck one from your neighbour's garden or your local allotment or local co-op. That's going to be so much more nutritious for you. And if it's organic, you get extra bonus points because the quality of the soil also influences the quality of the produce. This is a fruit or vegetable. And then with organic animals, they eat the plants and they're in the soil, so they are therefore healthier. So on paper, you might read something like chicken has X grams of zinc or milligrams of zinc or this particular nutrient, but I can guarantee that the mineral levels in organic is going to be better. And also the fatty acid composition of that meat is going to be healthier. So there is definitely a difference, but I understand the cost can inhibit a lot of people from buying, but I urge you to look at what else you're spending money on. Are you paying for Netflix every month and that's not actually benefiting your health? Are you buying coffee out every day when you could just buy an organic coffee at home and save a few pounds every day? So many little things like that that you can start to change and just really prioritize the things that are important and start paying with your money, with your dollar, so to speak. So seasonal food. So in summer now, we want to be eating in the UK, like, because it's really hot, so you don't want to be eating like stews and curries and all of that necessarily. You want to be eating more fresh foods, cooler foods. This ties into Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. They support that. Animal products, animal protein is still the basis of my diet. In terms of each meal, I center my plate with the meat, and then the vegetables and the carbs and everything is on the side of that. So that's what works best for me. I feel like everyone does better with some animal products, but the quantity can differ. But some people feel like they do better with less meat, but it's because they have a digestive issue or because the metabolism's really low, they're not breaking down that meat. So bear that in mind, that you might not feel good on meat now, but it's not the meat that's the problem. And actually, as you get healthier, you might be able to tolerate more animal products. So you might start to crave that. And then in terms of the foods that are the highest in minerals and the most nutrient dense, definitely organic red meats and offal. So this is things like liver and heart and kidneys. You can make them into different recipes, so you don't have to just eat like pan-fried beef liver, because that can be quite strong, bit of an acquired taste. And yeah, even the strongest stomachs can't tolerate that sometimes, but you can make it into a pate, or you can make beef burgers with 80% beef mince and then 20% liver mixed in there. So even the kids wouldn't even notice, but you're getting so many minerals from doing that. Raw dairy is another food that's really rich in minerals like calcium. I didn't realize how low my calcium had got after not eating dairy for 10 years. And I'm not experiencing any musculoskeletal or bone issues just yet. But if I was to continue that for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years, my bone health would have been pretty terrible. In later years, bone health just isn't just about calcium also, so just keep that in mind. In the course, you're going to be learning about things like magnesium, boron, manganese, phosphorus. They're also involved in vitamin D, and estrogen with bone health. So not just calcium. A lot of people have calcium imbalances. A high calcium level is called a calcium shell on the mineral test. So it'd be interesting to see if that was affecting you. I'd say 50% of my clients have that problem. But the calcium from food doesn't worsen that problem. So if you look at the test and see that you've got high calcium, that doesn't need to mean that you need to avoid calcium-rich foods like dairy. And if you're not tolerating dairy at the moment, if you've got an allergy or if you are choosing poorer quality forms of dairy, then you might have a problem. But I find that a lot of people, when they heal their gut and they choose the good stuff, the raw, the A2 protein milk instead of A1 from different breeds of cow, that's more natural and ancestral, they can tolerate it. Oysters and seafood are another, berries and fruits that are ripe and in season, herbs and spices, fresh or dried, and then extra little food as medicine things like bee pollen, humic and fulvic acid, and shilajit can be very high in minerals. You are at risk of mineral imbalances if you've been on restrictive or healing, quote, diets in the past. If you've been dairy-free for a long time, like I was, if you've been vegan, vegetarian, even if you did it the best that you could, keto, carnivore, you are at risk of mineral imbalances, and you definitely need to check your levels at some point, and there's no better time than now. Another way to support your mineral levels is by getting out into nature, swimming in seawater. You're going to get things like magnesium, chloride and salt in there that you absorb through your skin. Freshwater swimming, sunlight. We get so many benefits to our health than just vitamin D, but vitamin D helps to regulate calcium and it also calms the nervous system. So we're burning through less minerals that way. And then with medication, there's a lot of them that can deplete minerals too, even some synthetic supplements. So if you've been taking synthetic vitamin D, synthetic calcium, if you've been taking high doses of zinc for a long time, or multivitamins with things like copper in there, and you don't know what's going on in your body, you're not feeling good, it could be that you've created an imbalance by taking a synthetic supplement, because our body doesn't understand these nutrients when they come in like a tablet or a capsule form. They understand minerals when they come bound to other minerals. And with the dairy example, dairy has calcium, but it also has K2, which helps to regulate calcium in the body and gets it to where it needs to be, which is 99% in the bones and the teeth. So if you've been taking supplements for a long time, especially minerals, things like calcium, zinc, multivitamins, protein powders with extra minerals in there, oat milks and almond milks that are fortified, then you might have run into imbalances with minerals. And the same with medication. Even if you've been on them for a short amount of time, they can cause a lot of issues. There's really no medication that doesn't have any side effects. The hormonal birth control pill is one of the top ones that I help my clients with, to come off that, safely transition off the pill. And ironically, the minerals that the birth control pill and synthetic hormonal contraceptives deplete are the same key nutrients that you need for healthy hormonal balance. So isn't that fun? So we go on birth control to help prevent pregnancies, and then women come off hoping to fall pregnant and they can't. So we want to see, even if it's been 2 years since you came off the pill, 3 years, 5 years, if you've been on the pill at some point for longer than a few weeks, you need to check your minerals. If you've been on antacids, either prescription ones, omeprazole, lansoprazole, anything like that to help with acid reflux or ulcers or heartburn, or the over-the-counter ones, things like Gaviscon, Rennies, anything that suppresses that stomach acid is going to suppress your absorption of minerals. If you've been on painkillers after some sort of surgery, operation, or just monthly for headaches, aches and pains, period cramps, that can affect your gut health and your liver and affects the balance of minerals. Antihistamines can do it, antidepressants can do it. If you look up side effects, a lot of them are linked to mineral imbalances. And then finally, we want to be mindful of toxin exposure. So a toxin is something like heavy metals, mercury, arsenic, lead, mold mycotoxins, which was a big one for me, and then glyphosate, which is a pesticide, very common pesticide, sprayed on food. All of these things can affect minerals because of the impact that they have on the gut. They cause stress, they cause inflammation, and anytime the body is working harder to do something like clear one of these toxins, it requires more minerals from you. Every time you're stressed, you're thinking faster, even if you're sat at your desk studying or trying to pass an exam, your brain and your body is working on overdrive. And that's the same when you're exposed to some sort of toxin that shouldn't be in the body and it's starting to cause damage. So in the course, I share a little bit more about where we get these things from, how to support the body, but step one is always the minerals first. You need to make sure your minerals are balanced before you do any form of detox, especially the more intense stuff, because if not, it's going to backfire and you're not going to feel great. And now I'll cover a few more specific examples if you have the related mineral imbalance. If you've done a HTMA before, or you know that you have a particular mineral imbalance, or maybe you come back to this after signing up, after getting your test results back, but you'll probably benefit more from the Kajabi portal at that point. So we want to test and not guess, but symptoms of electrolyte imbalances. If you have low electrolyte levels, you might struggle with your blood pressure, high or low blood pressure. Fatigue is a huge one. Metabolic issues, so this is issues with your blood pressure, but also blood sugar, cholesterol. You might have conditions like PCOS or thyroid issues, inability to lose weight. You might have other hormone imbalances like period pains, cramps, a diagnosis of infertility. You might have symptoms of dehydration, even if you're drinking liters of water a day. If you don't have enough electrolytes and minerals, you don't actually hold on to that hydration at the cellular level, and it just goes straight through into your urine. So the symptoms of dehydration, most people know this, but it's brain fog, constipation, dry skin, dry hair, excessive thirst, excessive urination. You might also have skin issues, acne. Just think of your body being dehydrated, UTIs. You might have brain fog. So if that's the case for you, things like adrenal cocktails can be really useful. So this is using natural mineral-rich foods. Common examples are things like coconut water, orange juice, sea salt, a bit of collagen in there, cream of tartar powder. I go into how to make an adrenal cocktail in the course. But you can also use supplements alongside. A lot of the students of iBalance find that they just have really, really low levels of electrolytes, so they just have to do everything that they can, like multiple different ways to boost their electrolytes. So they find themselves reaching for a supplement as well. There's brands like Seeking Health, Body Bio, Element. You can use a lot of salt in your foods for the sodium. I wouldn't recommend pink salt though. I recommend Celtic sea salt. If you have low potassium as one of the electrolytes, then foods like banana, potatoes, coconut water, avocados, you'd want to increase those in your diet. And a mention on iron, I did touch on this before, but if you find that you have iron problems, we don't just look at the HTMA because that's going to give you a result, but the blood is preferred for that. So you could get a separate iron panel. You could test your ferritin, your iron saturation markers. But if you test low on a blood test, balancing your minerals is very important because you then need bioavailable minerals like copper and zinc to use iron, recycle iron. Most of the time, it's not iron that's the problem unless someone has lost a significant amount of blood through the menstrual cycles or childbirth or an injury. A lot of the time, it's a recycling issue or it's an absorption issue because the gut is unhealthy. They've got parasite infections. They've got low stomach acid. They're not absorbing things. So if it's a recycling issue, then you can use things like beef liver, cod liver oil, vitamin C to support that iron and get it back to a normal level without having to take iron directly, because unless you really need to, it's best to avoid. Taking iron in a synthetic form with something like iron sulfate that you get from your doctor, a lot of people know that it causes constipation and makes the gut feel bad for a few days. And it's because iron in this way feeds inflammation, feeds pathogens, parasites in the body, and then it just goes round and around. It becomes a vicious cycle. So that's why there's those people out there, you might be one of them, that just constantly has issues with their iron. Every other month you're at the doctor's taking iron and no one is looking deeper as to what's going on. And a lot of the time it's someone's just got really low copper levels or really low magnesium levels, and you want to focus your efforts on balancing those things first. And then most of the time, the iron just comes back into a normal range on its own because the body works as a whole in a holistic way, and we can't separate it out into different parts, but also we can't isolate and narrow in on just single vitamins or minerals because that's not how it is in nature. So I'm going to finish up here, not a super lengthy episode, but this is just scratching the surface as to what is covered in I'm Balanced. The link in my show notes and also my bio on Instagram is now available, so you can sign up. You've got until the end of day, Sunday, the 23rd of July. So this Sunday, which is, if you think of time zone, if you're in the US, for example, PST, then that's going to be late afternoon for you. So once the doors are closed, you'll have to wait until at least the end of this year, maybe early next, before you can sign up again. So think of how good it's going to feel to finally say, I'm balanced. And I'm going to leave you with that for now. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I would love for you to leave me a rating and review on your podcast app, as this helps to support the show and it allows it to reach more people with this valuable information. Come and say hi over on Instagram. I'm at Viva Natural Health. And if you haven't already, check out my website, vivanaturalhealth.co.uk, for tons more free resources and to discover how I could support you further. I currently offer one-on-one consultation packages if you want my top level support, then more affordable group programs and self-paced online courses. So there really is something for everyone. If you're ready to change and get some answers but aren't sure which option would be best, take that first step today and apply for a free enrollment call on my website, and we'll discuss the best steps for you to take in order to achieve hormonal harmony. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode.